Hello there and welcome. In this video I want to introduce to you 11 of the best cards that you can find in Monster Train 2. The idea that I had with this list was to go and find cards that are good no matter which build I currently play. So these are generalistic cards that can merge into pretty much any build that you're currently playing, and I hope that you will find this list helpful. So let's get started with the card from the Banished, and my selection fell onto the Bloodsoaked Arena. This thing is just amazing. The only downside is it doesn't synergize well if you kill lots of stuff with spells. That is really the only reason when it doesn't fully go into beast mode, but even then you will generate a lot of payoff by just stuff that you kill on the specific floor by melee. It's a very powerful thing that is super cost effective and really held back only by its rarity. I found this to be useful no matter what you play, because eventually you are aiming to kill stuff with your units, aren't you? So this one pretty much works in every build that I ran so far. Even in spell-centric builds it has some sort of a use, and it's not a bad one. Valor is a really powerful stat. Number 2, let's move over to the Pyreborn. Here, my selection fell to the Zealot. This guy is probably one of the best units that you can draft among the rares, because sweep and AoE Pyre Gel application, what's more to want? Of course, better stats and whatnot, but apart from the relatively high Ember cost, the Zealot is offering you pretty much everything you might want from a unit. It's a good frame to go for multi-strike, enhancing his abilities, making him endless, giving him dualism. There's so many things that you can do with this guy, just picking him up if you see him. Number 3, with the Lunar Coven, my selection fell to the Lunar Cyclestaff. It is needing the moon cycle, but the moon cycle happens all by itself, so this thing grows no matter what you do. But moon cycling is also one of the more effective and powerful strategies in the Lunas, and I think personally, no matter if I play full moon or new moon troops, moon cycling always is a good side venue, and the Lunar Cyclestaff is one of those rares where I gotta say, why not pick it if it pops up, unless you already have a few of these. Number 4, with the Underlegion, my selection fell to the Balmabello. This guy, I really underestimated him as a unit for a pretty long time, until I realized that this thing will spread all of its buffs as an AoE over the room, and this makes him a really wonderful unit to prep up for boss fights. Just buff the hell out of this guy, and a cascade of buffs will explode into the troops behind him, which is really powerful for any boss fight, and boss fights are in every level. So this guy is not only very tanky, has good stats, and is pretty small for the stats that he offers. He comes with good stats, and with just Propagate alone, which is a staple from the Underlegion, he's already pretty decent. Now add in whatever buff you want, and yeah, you are at a pretty good spot. Moving on to number 5, the Lazarus League. This one was really hard, but after a lot of thinking, I went with the Double-Edged Bearer. The thing about this guy is, he provides a piece of equipment that gives your unit multi-strike plus 10 attack for the cost of 1 Ember. The main problem is that you need to let him die somewhere between the lines. Alright, this is, for some builds, more an issue than for others, but the cost efficiency alone on providing multi-strike on one of your units, the time delayed application is really not the best fact, but it works for pretty much every build. I haven't seen any of my formations that didn't gracefully accept a little bit of extra multi-strike on the side. You really gotta find something that is more synergistic to your current strategy to pick this guy over other rares, because obviously if you have a power card that gives exact juice into your current combo, this guy is obviously able to be overshadowed. But I think this looks much smaller than it is in action, because multi-strike is, as a matter of fact, very, very costly if you get it anywhere else. Number 6, let's move on over to the old clans. With the Hellhorned, I did a long and thorough think, and Deranged Brute was the one that I chose. The thing about him is, Rage is the primary attack increasing mechanic that the Hellhorned use one way or another. And it really amps up the numbers for these guys, because it is easy to overlook how powerful this guy is. It's a +3 per stack. And now let's look on the numbers behind Rage. Let's turn off this thing for a second, and let's check out how Rage stacks are usually applied in which numbers. +5, +6, +12, +5. So these are really large numbers that you get there, benefit-wise. And this guy is cheap. He has decent stats, he's relatively small, you can even mod him out to be a decent combat unit, and that rage bonus is insane. So overall, it's one of the best damage increasers that doesn't force much of you, except for playing with rage. With the Hailhorn, I had a long problem, because usually I didn't want to take something that is specifically needing a mechanic of this clan, but all of the other rares were less versatile than this guy. Honorable mention to the Apex Imp and the Alloy of the Ancients. They were my close seconds and thirds. Awoken, number 7. I chose here Unleash the Wildwood. This spell is amazing. Modded with holdover, and you have an AoE heal available for every turn. Modded with holdover and intrinsic, it's free each turn. You have a lot of units that are super receptive for healing when you're playing the Awoken, but in general, even if you're not making it a staple that happens every turn, a spell that pops up every now and then that heals an entire floor completely for 1 ember is very big, especially since there are a couple of bosses that keep happening in the Covenant 10 area that love to spread a lot of corruption over your troops, and this is basically countering it entirely. Make it reliable, or make it cheaper, or however you want to mod it. Frozen is also a very nice characteristic for the spell, so you can hold it in your hand until you need it. Either way, I found this to be really, really useful. Honorable mentions here go to the Wildwood Tome, because seriously, Quick is also a super powerful trade, and the Steel Singer, which has the only downside of being large, but a hell of a unit because of permanent growth. Number 8, the Stygian Guard. So I haven't unlocked all of the cards yet, but I went for Deep Offering, and I'm standing to that selection because not only do you have a lot of cards when you're playing Stygian that trigger by being discarded, so that is already a big synergy, but even if not, if you have enough energy available, or if you well, let's go for the idea that we have a lot of low-cost spells. You can empty your hand and play this as a last card, and then draw 5 more cards and do it all again. There's plenty of ways and means to make your cards cheaper, and this is only one method, or 2 methods, which you can do with this thing. But the ability to redraw your entire hand when you need it is big. In all of these games, it's a very, very big thing. When you're playing deck builder games, being able to discard your hand and redraw your hand counts to the biggest things that you can get, and therefore, with a little bit of modification, I mean, you can remove Consume, for example, and many, many other shenanigans with this thing to make it shine even more. I really find this a super versatile thing that works in pretty much any strategy, in my opinion. Number 9, for the Umbra, I went with Kindle, with a close second to Forever Consumed, but Kindle is, I think, a very interesting spell insofar as it just allows you to double whatever ember you got. Remove Consume, and you can play really costly things very reliably. A combination of removal of consumption and holdover, for example, allows you to just permanently double your ember. Neato. This doesn't cost too much investment, and in the worst case it allows you to go for a big burst of actions in a turn where you might need it, but it is also something which allows you to manipulate your economy in a massive way by just one card and some additions on it. I find this extremely powerful. The Umbra Stone was also my close third. Yeah, you get the idea. Number 10, for the Melting Remnant, I went for the Remnant Pact. I was thinking about other cards here, but Remnant Pact's ability to make one unit endless is such a nice treat. It allows you to go flexible and patch up things where you need it, or just make your whole strategy more reliable. It basically saves you 100 gold and can be made even more powerful by removing consume and other things. I also think that the Big Sludge and the Devourer of Death are both very, very powerful spells on their own, but they would require a death strategy, which makes them not as versatile as the Remnant Pact. Basically any build can use one more endless unit, and the real nice caveat here is that we get to select where the endless buff is sitting at each fight anew, so it's much more flexible, with the downside that it is not a guaranteed proc, and it costs us some Ember in a turn where we might not want to spend that. Yeah, there's always downsides. And now, number 11, the last one, the Clanless Rares. I went for the Zone of Silence. It has only one downside. Or two. Let's make it two. It's costly. This is really one big downside. 3 Ember is a pretty big budget, and you can't play another room on top of it. That's the other one. But silencing the entirety of the enemy units gives you so much freedom and playing your strategy as you want it to. It is amazing. This thing easily neuters so many enemy strategies that I really enjoy this thing whenever I can pick it up. If you are lucky enough to combine this thing with a Manifold Mirror, congratulations, your enemies don't have abilities anymore. I find this thing so nice, just by its own. Many runs I picked this up, I won, and had the impression that it was just that kickstart that I had in terms of silencing the enemies and picking out what I wanted, or doing my buffing strategy that I wanted, that just made that difference. Silence is a really big thing. At the end of this video, another honorable mention to the Void Armament, which is an excellent item, which you might be overlooking at the first glance, but the fact that you can equip it on a unit that you don't want to have in your deck, and then let the enemy do the dirty work for you. This thing purchased deck cards from your deck for you for free. Just 3 Ember, no gold though. This is really big, and if you are really trusting on the fact that you can keep the unit alive until the very end, it becomes a super powerful equipment piece at the same time. Yeah, unofficial number 12. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope this was helpful for you. I really much enjoy videos like these. Let me know if you have ideas or questions or things that you think that I have overlooked. I'm all ears. This game has so many things in it. I am very inclined to learn more, and I'm grateful if you bring up something in the comment section. So leave a like, leave a subscribe, consider supporting the channel via donations, YouTube subscriptions, or whatever tickles your fancy, which is found in the description box below. As it stands right now, I can really use all the help that I can get. Many thanks go out to all of you for all the help that I do get from you, and thanks for watching this video up until the very end. Appreciate you taking that time, and see you on the next one.